could be a page on your website, but it's just simply the page that people land on. So whether that's a page on your website or whether you use a third-party service like Lead Pages, which is very, very good. That's a subscription service. You pay 35 bucks a month, and they have that's all they do. They specialize in landing pages that are proven to convert very, very highly. So, and when I say convert, all I mean is the people do what you are asking them to do. So a lot of times a landing page, sometimes you'll hear marketers use the word squeeze page. I don't really like that term. It sounds a little too aggressive for me, but the reason why they use that phrase is because you're trying to squeeze some information out of the visitor. Most of the time that's an email address, sometimes it's a phone number or whatnot. So that could be a page on your website, but if you have a little bit of extra budget, look at Lead Pages. I believe it's leadpages.net, and they have that's all they do is the science of conversion, and then they put all of the things that they've learned into these templates, these landing pages that load very fast and that are proven to convert highly. When I switched over to Lead Pages from my page that I had just built on my website, there was an immediate noticeable increase in the amount of people joining my email list, which in my case is how I create customers. I send them emails that provide value, and then eventually I say, hey, by the way, if you loved all that, you're going to love this too. Check it out. It's only 40 bucks a month or whatever. So that's the method in which I sell my courses online. So it's worth looking into. Lead Pages is what it is. Maybe I'll type that in the chat here. In fact, I'll show you. We don't need to look at my website anymore. Lead Pages. Yeah, so this is Lead Pages here, and I'll just pop that right there in the chat if you guys want to check it out later. So yeah, if you do have a few extra dollars to spare, it's well worth it. If you've got a system in place, if you've got a plan already, this is just going to help increase the conversions. Okay. So, where were we going here? We were talking about targeting. We were talking about retargeting. Yes, okay. So basically what retargeting is it's extremely powerful, and you've probably seen it happen before. You know, maybe you're surfing around the internet and, you know, maybe you visit, I don't know, homedepot.com or .ca, right? And then you're back on Facebook and you're flipping through your news feed, and all of a sudden you're seeing ads for Home Depot products or Home Depot promotions. That's because what they've done is they've retargeted you. And you, just as a regular small business owner, have access to these tools inside the Facebook ad platform, which is fantastic. So the way that works is once you open up your ad account with Facebook, and they make it very easy to do that, you do have to attach happened with Home Depot, perfect, yeah. So you do have to attach a payment source. That can be a credit card or a PayPal account. And then now your ad account is ready to rock and roll. And then what you can do is what Facebook does is they give you a little piece of code that's referred to as a pixel. And that pixel, that code, you just copy that and paste that into your web pages, your website. And what that does is it allows Facebook to track anytime somebody visits your website or a specific page on your website while they're logged into Facebook, which for most of us is all the time, right? I mean, my phone is logged into Facebook right now. My computer over here is logged into Facebook right now. No matter where I go on the internet, if somebody has a Facebook pixel on their site, they're going to be able to tag me basically as somebody who has visited their website. And then what happens is everyone who gets tagged, when the pixel fires, somebody lands on my page, the pixel fires, they get automatically added to a custom audience that I create inside my Facebook ads account. So my audience might be everyone who lands on my sales page. Maybe I have a little video sales message or something. So everyone who lands on that page gets pixeled and they get included in a particular audience. And now I can create a brand new ad that gets only displayed to the people in that very specific audience. And the reason why that's so important is because our goal when it comes to our advertising campaign as a whole is to find cold traffic. And when I say cold traffic, I mean people who have no idea who you are. They've never heard of you before in their life. They are completely cold in terms of their prospect, the fact that they might, become a client or customer. So So we want to take cold traffic and then we want to turn them into warm traffic. And warm traffic simply means somebody who has heard of you, who does know something about you. You've had an opportunity to establish your credibility. Yeah. So your landing page doesn't have to be on your navigation menu. Tanya's saying in the chat there, theoretically you could have this landing page, make it non-clickable or hidden. So a client went directly to your website. Yeah, so you don't have to have it in your navigation menu or anything like that. It could just be a page that lives on your site that's not being linked to anywhere. But when you create an advertisement, that's the page where you're sending people. And so the only people who land on that page are going to be people who have clicked on your ad. Okay, so this is now when you start to consider these different tools, you can start to build a strategy. So how do I find cold traffic that's targeted, cold traffic that might be interested in what I want to what I have to offer, and then how do I turn them into warm traffic, or how do I capture them as a lead so I can warm them up before I offer whatever it is that I have to offer. Okay, so that's an extremely commonly used strategy, and that's just how it works. You know, it's sort of, I hear a lot of the marketing mentors that I learn from. A lot of people always use this sort of dating analogy. You know, like you don't just walk into a bar, see a person at the bar, and just go up and say, "Hey, let's go." Right? I mean, maybe it's a numbers game. Maybe that might work one in 1,000 times. Who knows? But typically, you're not going to have luck that way. You introduce yourself, you say hello, you warm up the cold prospect into a warm prospect, and then if everything is still going good, then maybe you make them an offer of some kind, right? And the same rules apply when you're doing your marketing campaigns. You want to consider who you're talking to, and you want to speak to them in the way that they need to be spoken to. If they're cold traffic, you can't say, "Hey, remember me," or "Hey, check out my product," because they don't know who you are, they don't care who you are. So you have to first capture their interest with something. And then from there, you have the opportunity to build a rapport and a relationship with that person, and it doesn't take much. I don't mean calling them up, and you can do this all with just one or two different ad campaigns running at maybe $5 a day. Very small budgets. You don't have to spend a lot of money. When you find something that's really working, you can increase your budget a little bit and get even better results. But in the beginning, while you're experimenting, you want to make sure that you're just spending little bits of budget so that you're getting information. Okay, and we'll talk a bit more about that in a second. So the other thing, so we've got amazing advanced targeting, we've got retargeting, which is brilliant, and then the other thing that the other tool that Facebook gives you, two of them actually, is custom audiences and lookalike audiences. And basically what that means is a custom audience is, for example, your retargeting list. If you have that pixel on your website and you're making a custom audience based on everyone who has visited your sales page or your landing page, right? Another example of a custom audience might be, maybe you're running a video ad, and maybe you've got a 5-minute video that really shows off what you do, or has customer testimonials or whatnot. You can create a custom audience of people who have watched, for example, at least 50% of your video, or 75% of your video, or 95% of your video. So now you can start to see, oh, now I can get clever. I can put a plan or a strategy together. Maybe I put an ad out, maybe I spend $10 or $20 to promote it, all right? Facebook puts it in front of the exact right people because I've done my targeting right. And then what I'm doing is I'm trying to find, if I have an audience of 50,000 people in that target market that I've created, now I want to find the people that are the most likely to become a hot prospect. And so the people that watch that video all the way to the end are people that were obviously fascinated, interested, somehow fixated, and that's the person you want to get a hold of, right? So you create a custom audience based on people who have watched 50%, 75% of your video, and now you can make a second advertisement that gets shown only to those people. So that's a custom audience, and that's also an example of retargeting, okay? Another example of a custom audience is if you build an email list. Tanya, do you have an email list? Have you started growing an email list? If you haven't, do so. It's extremely important. It's a great asset to your business. But let's say you have an email list. Maybe you've been building it for a year or two. Maybe you've got 500 people, 1,000 people on your email list. Well, you can export that email list from whatever service you use. Okay, no, not yet. Okay, it's just starting out. So that's definitely something to look into. Get yourself an email list started, because that is still one of the most powerful ways to engage with your prospects and to warm them up and win them over into customers or clients. So let's say I have 1,000 people on my email list. I can pull that out of my email service provider. The service I use is called Aweber. I know, Monique, you use MailChimp. And I'll just show you Aweber real quick. And yeah, so this is Aweber here. And you'll see if I log into my account, I've been growing my email list for quite some time. I have 11,400 email subscribers and across a number of different lists. I have a few different things, different marketing efforts that I've been working on. Most of my list is for my Mix Lessons program, which is a part of my Tech Music Academy business. You'll see I have, about 5,000 here and 5,000 here. So what I can do is I can export that. I can pop into this here and go to my subscribers, and I can actually export them all as a CSV file right here. So that's just a spreadsheet file. So once I have that CSV file, I can upload that to Facebook inside my ads manager. And what Facebook will do is go in and find all of the Facebook accounts that match the email addresses that I've just uploaded. All right. And so oftentimes it won't find them all. So if I upload 4,000 email addresses, maybe I'll get 3,500 different Facebook accounts. Now that is a custom audience, okay? So now I can put a message in front of those people that's very different because I already know they're warm. They know who I am. They're on my email list. They've already been receiving emails from me. So I don't have to tell them about myself. Now I can just continue to add value and offer them things, present them with offers. Sometimes, like for example, I created an offer that's a $1 free trial on my monthly subscription, okay? Yeah, it's pretty insane, right? So I put out an ad that was just a video just like this, just me talking into my webcam here in my little recording studio, and just saying, hey guys, I really appreciate you being a follower of the Tech Music Academy, and just because I want to say thank you, grab your first month of Mix Lessons for just $1. If you choose to stay on, it's regular price, but if not, cancel anytime. This gives you a chance to check it out, see what all the hype is about, and at no risk to you, right? So that became an advertisement that went out only to people that I know who I am and have already received value from me, because my free videos that I email people gives them a lot of value. I get a lot of positive feedback on those. But just now seeing how awesome it is. Yeah, I have already told you this, Monique, many times. But yes, it's pretty amazing. So that's another example of a custom audience, okay? So you can kind of see Facebook gives you different ways of creating custom audiences of warm traffic, of people who've already engaged with you or your website or your brand or your Facebook page or something in some fashion or another, okay? And then now, okay, so we've got amazing advanced targeting. We've got retargeting, which also overlaps into custom audiences. We have the ability to upload our email list, track people on our Facebook page, track people on our web pages, track people who engage with our advertisements. All of that stuff is how we create custom audiences and allow us to retarget people that have already seen us before, okay? So that's extremely powerful. And then this one is the most exciting. The last part is the lookalike audience, okay? This is another tool that Facebook introduced a year or two ago, that what a lookalike audience does is because Facebook has so much data on everybody that uses the platform, and because of the fact that well, that's mainly what it is. Well, because of the fact that they have this algorithm, and the algorithm is basically the artificial intelligence of the Facebook advertising platform. They have a team of some of the smartest engineers on the planet, computer engineers on the planet, constantly developing this algorithm. And the main goal of the algorithm is to make it more likely that you as the advertiser are going to succeed. Because remember, as I mentioned earlier, they want you to succeed because they want you to spend your next advertising budget with them as well. They don't want you to buy an ad in the Yellow Pages, and I don't know why anyone would do that anymore these days. They don't want you to spend it on a TV commercial. They want you to give it to them. So they want to do everything in their power to make you successful, okay? So they've created this thing called the lookalike audience. So check this out. Well, what I did, in fact, I'm going to go into my ads account and I'll show you. You guys can still see my screen all right? Yes, it looks good. So this is the inside, by the way, of the Ads Manager, and we'll have a more thorough look in a moment. I just wanted to get some of the theory out of the way first. So if I go into, under Ads Manager here, if I go into Audiences, I create audiences all the time for different things, different purposes, so that I can speak to various groups, specific groups of people. So let's see. Let me find my, where are you? Okay, mixed lesson start list. So if you look at this audience right here, this audience was 3,400 people that came directly from my email list, okay? So just like I showed you a second ago, I exported my leads, my emails from my Aweber account, and I uploaded them to Facebook, and Facebook found 3,400 people. This was a couple of years ago, so I could do this again and have more, because I've got many more email subscribers now. So Facebook found 3,400 Facebook accounts that match emails, okay? So that's the custom audience that we've just been speaking about. So what I did from there is I said, I want to create a lookalike audience based on this custom audience. So flow with me, this is how this works. I say, okay, Facebook, here's my 3,400 email subscribers. There's their Facebook accounts. That's great, thank you for that. Now, if you could do me a favor and just look at those 3,400 people with your amazingly intelligent algorithm and find out what is the same about them. What makes them all kind of similar? What are the similarities? Really analyze that. And then I want you to go out and find me 2 million more people that match that, right? Like, can you fathom that? So now I have a cold audience of 2 million people that I can market to that are pretty likely to be interested in what I have to offer because they are very close. They're a very close match to the 3,400 people who already I know like what I have because they've given me their email address, okay? That's what we call a lookalike audience, and it's extremely powerful. I ran an ad campaign to my lookalike audience from my Mixed Lessons subscribers, and it was probably my most successful campaign I've ever run, and I'll show it to you in a moment. But it really gave me a return on my investment, and it's because again the Facebook algorithm is doing all the work for me. I just have to understand how it works and what the tools are that I'm able to use, and have a little bit of a strategy as to what I want to accomplish. And Facebook does most of the heavy lifting for you, again because they want you to succeed. Okay, so. Let's take a look around the Ads Manager for a second. By the way, you'll notice that if you use the Google Chrome web browser, which I recommend, you'll also have access to what Facebook calls the Power Editor, and I'll show you that in a moment. But the first thing to understand, and by the way, if you guys got questions, pop them in the chat, and I'll try to address them as I go. There's only a couple of you here, so you can speak freely. It'll be pretty easy for me, I think. Oh, Adriana joined us. Okay, good. Welcome to the conversation. We got 3 people in the room now. Sweet. All right. So I am attempting to record this, by the way. I didn't record it from the very beginning because I didn't think of it until a few minutes in. But if the technology doesn't fail me, hopefully I can post some of this later back in the group, and people who missed it can check it out. And by the way, I should have led with this. I'll be straight with you. The reason why I'm holding this webinar, because normally people will hire me for $100 an hour or so to have these kind of conversations and to educate them in a consulting capacity. But I wanted to put this out to the group, to the local business owners, not necessarily so that you'll hire me, although I'm open to that if you like, that's fine. But really what I'm trying to do is establish my credibility locally. So like what I'm hoping is when somebody says, hey, I need help with Facebook ads, that you'll say, you should talk to this Des guy. That's my devious plan for doing this. I'm trying to establish a little bit of credibility, let people know that I do know what I'm talking about, and hopefully some of the local business owners in the Durham region will refer people to me. That's my goal. So feel free to do that. Okay, so yeah, I'll try to make a replay happen. Like I said, I think it's recording, and I never know until we're done if it captured everything properly. And I think I'm recording the right screen because I have 2 monitors here. But anyway, on with the show. So the first thing to understand about how your Facebook ads account is set up there's 3 tiers when it comes to your advertising campaigns. You'll see them here. There's the campaigns view, there's the ad sets view, and then there's the ads themselves, okay? So this is where a lot of people get confused. And it's important to understand what happens in each of those tiers, and I'll walk you through that in just a second. So, at the campaign level, the campaign is where you decide what your objective is. And Facebook gives you a number of objectives to choose from, and I'll show you in just a moment. But let's say, for example, you want Facebook to optimize your ad for a conversion. So in other words, you want Facebook to find people who are most likely to do what you ask them to do and to land on your thank you page, right? Maybe they opt in with their name and email to join your newsletter and they land on a thank you page. Well, you put a pixel on that thank you page and you tell Facebook, I want you to optimize the delivery of this ad, show it to people first who are most likely to do that, to land on this thank you page. And again, the algorithm is extremely intelligent, and as soon as you get 10 or 12 people to do that, Facebook goes and hones in and goes, oh, okay, this is the kind of person. And it shows your ad to those people first to increase your chances of success. So that would be a conversion goal, right? You also might have a goal that is a page post engagement. So maybe you want Facebook to optimize the delivery of your ad to people who are most likely to like, comment, and share, to engage with your post. And so again, once you start to think of these things, you can start to plan a little strategy as to how you want your campaign to go. So the objective of your campaign, the thing that you're telling Facebook to optimize for, happens at the campaign level. Okay, that's pretty much all you do at the campaign level. You give it a name and an objective, and that's it. And then from there, you move to the ad set level. And an ad set, as the name implies, is where you can have a set of ads, because you might be testing different ads against each other to find out which one performs the best. Okay, so that happens at the ad set level. Okay, and the ad set level is also where you choose your targeting, who you're going to present to, and it's also where you choose your budget. And it's also where you choose your placement, where you want your ad to show up. Do you want it to show up in the news feed? Do you want it to show up on the right side where it's all advertisements? Do you want it to show up on Instagram? Because Facebook owns Instagram, so your ads can show up there. So that's the placements of your ad. You choose that as well at the ad set level. And then, of course, once you've created your ad set with all of those details, then you go ahead and you create your actual ads themselves, okay? So you can, if you want to, create 1 or 2 or 3 ads all in the same ad set, and Facebook will find which one is performing better and optimize for the delivery of that ad, okay? And that's where you actually create, you upload your video or your picture, you put in your headline and your text, your copy, what you're trying to say. All of that is the ad itself, okay? And I'll show you how that's done in a second. So what I recommend is when you're in the Ads Manager, to use the Ads Manager as the place to look at your numbers, to study your data, your analytics, to find out what's working and what's not. I don't recommend that you actually create your ads here. I recommend that you do that in the Power Editor. And the reason is because it's not just a clever name, it's a more powerful platform. So I'm just going to go into the Power Editor now and show you how this works. Okay, if my computer can keep up with me, that is, we'll see. All right. I wonder if any meeting gives you guys an opportunity to share. I don't know if you can see that anywhere. If you can, feel free to share this this broadcast, and maybe we can get a few extra people in here. Why is the Power Editor not loading? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So this is inside the Power Editor. You'll notice it's set up the same: campaigns, ad sets, ads. Okay, so they've actually simplified this a little bit. Facebook changes this stuff on a pretty much daily basis. So if we do get a replay of this and you're watching this a month or 2 down the road, it might look a little different, but it's looked fairly consistent for a while now. So let's just walk through an example ad here. So I'm going to create a new campaign. And what they do is they allow me to create my campaign, my ad set, and an ad all at once here. They've got a new objective. Very cool. Okay. So I'm going to create a campaign. This is going to be my webinar test campaign. The bidding type is an auction. That's the only choice they give me right here. I don't even worry about that. Just let Facebook do its thing as far as the bidding type. But here is where I choose my campaign objective. So you can have an awareness campaign where it's basically it's a branding campaign where Facebook is just putting your brand in front of as many relevant people as possible. I have never used that objective. To me, branding is something that happens with a more mature business because it costs money and there's no direct return on investment, no trackable return on investment. I prefer the direct marketing approach where I put something in front of you and you do something right away. That's what I prefer in most cases. But it's there just for reach or brand awareness. Under consideration, we've got traffic. Now, if you're just trying to get people to visit a promotional page on your website, traffic is a good objective. Facebook will optimize the delivery of your ad for people who are most likely to click and land on your website, where they can do whatever you're hoping that they'll do, okay? App installs is if you're trying to sell an app, and I don't think anyone in here is doing that at the moment. Video views is a great objective if you're doing, like we were talking about before, if you're trying to create a retargeting audience. So let's say you've got a really cool, compelling video. Maybe it's funny, maybe it's emotional, maybe it's informational, educational, whatever it is, and you've got a nice targeted audience that you're going to present it to, and Facebook will optimize it for people who are most likely to watch the most percentage of that video. And then, of course, you can retarget them as people who've watched 75% or more of your video, and you can send them something else. So that's a great way to create a two-prong approach to get cold traffic and turn them into warm traffic. Okay, we were talking about that earlier. Lead generation, this is fairly new. So on a lead gen ad, Facebook will actually, when they click it, it will actually open up and ask them for their name and email right there inside the ad without taking them to your website or anything. So I've never experimented with that, but I plan to. It's a fairly new objective. Page post engagement, that's the one I was talking about earlier, when you want to get likes and shares and comments on a particular post. And again, there's strategies as to why you might want to do that. Page likes is a campaign if you're just trying to grow the audience of people who are fans of your business page, because that automatically becomes a custom audience. You can present things to people who are just fans of yours or friends of fans to extend your reach a little wider, okay? Event responses, that's if you're hosting an event on Facebook, getting people to be interested or going, right? And then you have conversions. If you run an e-commerce store, you sell physical products, you can have product sales and store visits, but conversion might be somebody joining my email list, for example, would be a conversion campaign. So for this one, I'm gonna do a page post engagement ad. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do my video views ad, and I'll show you. So I've just told Facebook, optimize this for people who are most likely to watch my video. I'm going to create an ad set. This is going to be called my. I'm going to show you this dental campaign. So I'm targeting dentists. I'm just going to dental test. Oh, I have one called dental test. I'm going to call this dental test 2. Okay. And I'm not going to use that. That's new too, by the way, this autofill thing. If you have another ad set that you just want to auto copy the settings from, you can do that here. And then I'm going to create an ad called Video 1. These titles, by the way, are for my own purposes. Nobody else sees these but me. So now I've created a campaign with a video views objective. I've created an ad set where I can then go in and choose my targeting, and I'll show you that in a sec. And I've created an ad. I haven't actually made the ad, but I've created the title of it, and it'll be ready for me to then add the things I want to add into the advertisement. So I'm going to hit create. It's going to create all those things for me. Okay, so now I'm just going to close this for a sec and show you what the default look is here. See, webinar test, that's the campaign I just created. If I hit the pencil button right here on the right, that opens up the edit window. So if you don't see it open already, that's where it is. It's the little pencil button on the right. And I don't know why this is loading funny, but there's actually nothing to edit on the campaign level because all we did there is choose our objective. So I'm going to go into the campaign to the ad set level. You see here I'm on the ad set tab now, right? And I'm going to make sure that that's the ad set I want to deal with is checked, and I'm going to open up this and we're going to look at the ad set. So inside the ad set, this is where we can change its name if we want to. We can edit the placements. And as I mentioned earlier, the placements is where your ad is going to show up. On Instagram, on the right-hand side, in the news feed, etc. Okay, the news feed is almost always the best place for your ads, but it's worth experimenting because every campaign is a little different. But in my experience, and from some of the gurus that I follow very closely. Okay, Tanya, thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. And hopefully there's a replay. And if there is, I'll post it in the group. And yeah, we could certainly chat sometime. Absolutely. Just get me on Facebook and we'll carry on the conversation from there. Okay. All right, so moving right along. So you can edit your placements. I always recommend that you edit your placements because Facebook automatically is going to place it all over the place, okay? So the audience network, I never use. The audience network is sites that are not Facebook, that are part of Facebook's network. So it might be a blog somewhere. It might be, I don't know, it might be just another random website that has a partnership with Facebook. So I've never gotten good results from that. So I always uncheck it. Most of the time I unselect Instagram as well. I deselect Instagram unless I have a very specific ad that is extremely appropriate. It's a video that's under 60 seconds because on Instagram it can't be longer than 60 seconds. It's very eye-catching, very visual. Instagram's a very visual platform. Then maybe I might run it there as well. So it's worth considering. But most of the time I put my ads in the news feed only. Suggested videos is fine if it's a video ad. Right column I normally turn off. A lot of times people get blind, they call ad blindness, where it's just that's the spot where the ads are and they never look there, right? So oftentimes I'll turn that off, but again, it's worth experimenting with. The in-stream videos, that is new. What that is you've probably seen this now. It's annoying when you're flipping through, you see a video that looks cool, you tap on it, you're watching it, and then 20 seconds in, it stops and an advertisement plays, and then it starts the video again. That's an in-stream video. That's something new that Facebook has just unleashed, I guess. So you can experiment with that. I've never played with it because it's brand new. So I'm going to turn it off for now. Instant articles, I've never had any success with instant articles. I normally keep it just in the news feed. I want my advertisement to just look like a post. Of course, it says sponsored. You've seen this before. It says sponsored under my page name, but it comes up just like every other post that comes up on Facebook, and I've had the best results with that, okay? So, and then as far as devices are concerned, you can choose mobile only, desktop only, or all devices. You'll probably, I normally leave all devices, but you'll probably find once your ad has been running for a week or so, and you look at your numbers in the ads manager, you'll probably find that most of your action comes from mobile because most people use Facebook on mobile these days. So again, something to experiment with. So that's all that's happening here in placements, okay? Down below we have budget and schedule. Oftentimes I'll start with just $5 a day on an ad campaign, not 50. $5 a day. And that's a daily budget, or you can set a lifetime budget. So that's great if you have an event that's happening at a certain date and you want the ad to run for a week, preceding that date, and you want to spend a certain amount of money. So you can say, run it from June 16th to June whatever and spend $50 as my lifetime budget for that ad. And so Facebook will automatically cancel the ad, stop the ad when your budget is reached or your end date is reached, okay? So that's how that goes. Normally I set it for an ongoing daily budget, and oftentimes I start at $5 just to test if the ad's working or not. If it's working great, then I'll scale it, and there's ways to do that, but we'll save that for another conversation. And then, so your scheduled start and end date if you want to. So I'll just leave that at $5 a day, ongoing until I choose to turn the campaign off. And here is where we get into our targeting. If you have created a custom audience, like I've got my mixed lessons lookalike audience I was talking about there, or my mixed lessons subscribers, my customer list, I can do that if I want to. But if I want to just target some cold traffic, people who don't know me, I can do that right down here. So you can choose location. So if you're a local business, then obviously this is very important. So I'm doing what? My dental ad. Okay, so I'm going to say I'm going to get rid of Canada, and what I'm going to do is type in Oshawa, because I'm in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada, and then I'm going to choose a radius somewhere within, say, 30 miles of Oshawa. So that stretches out to to Toronto a little bit, and that gives me a fairly good radius. 30 miles is not too long a drive, so that's pretty good. So with this particular example, I'm going to try to target dentists. So I'm going to say, chances are there's not too many 18-year-old dentists, so I'm going to up my age, and I want people who are somewhat established. So I'm going to say 35 to 64 is going to be my my demographic, okay, my age demographic. I'm going to choose all, both men and women, because dentists are male and female. If you're trying to target mothers, then obviously you would choose just women, right? And then language I don't have to worry about because I'm choosing a local demographic. Everyone in this area most likely speaks English. They may speak other things too, but chances are they're going to understand me when I present them with an ad. Now, here's where we start to get interesting in the detailed targeting section. So in the detailed targeting, I can start choosing things by interest. Oh, look at this, dentist as a job title. It's because I've done this before. So like, let's say I hadn't, and I choose dentist. It pops up. Dentist at interests, dentist as a job title, dentist as an employer. So I'm going to choose dentist as a job title. I'm going to choose general dentist. I'm going to choose dentist owner. And every time I add somebody in, it's telling me over here a rough estimate of the size of the audience. So this is fewer than 1,000 people. So I need to expand this a little bit. I'm going to say orthodontist, dentist, pediatric dentist, periodontist, orthodontics, GP dentist. I keep selecting dentist and it looks like my video feed is interrupted. Can you guys still hear me? Type in the chat if you can still hear me. You can still see my screen, that's good. Okay, good, cool. So GP dentist, associate dentist, fields of study, sure. Those people who studied dentistry probably became dentists, hopefully. General dentistry. So I'm adding as many things as I can to try to expand my my audience size. Cosmetic dentistry, that's a great one. Okay, so and part of the reason why I've got such a small audience here is because of the fact that this is local. Now, let me tell you what this ad is that you're going to see in a second. What this ad is an ad targeted to dentists in an effort to get them to hire me to run their Facebook advertising efforts, right? So they don't actually have to be in Durham region for me to serve them. So I'm actually going to take this away, and I'm going to put in Canada. And now I have 3,200 people that are matching my criteria here. I'm gonna add a few more here. Job titles. Okay. All right, so now I have an audience of 4,100 people, which, by the way, is very small. That's in terms of how Facebook works. That's a very small audience, but it's very targeted. Now, the other thing you can do here is narrow the audience. If I have an audience that's too wide, I can say they have to be one of these. They have to match one of these and one of these. So watch what happens if I say, okay, they have to be, they have to match one of these dental things, but they also have to be, let's see, I don't know, let's just do something ridiculous. They also have to be into Netflix. Okay, so now my audience just went down to fewer than 1,000 people. Okay, so these are dentists or dental assistants or orthodontists that like Netflix. Okay, so that's what I'm going to get rid of that because that's ridiculous. But that's what the narrow audience is for. Anything in the top box, it'll find everyone that matches any of those things, any one or more of those things, and then anything in the bottom box, they have to also match one of the things that you put in the bottom box, okay? So you can narrow your audience down. Because sometimes you'll put, you're depending on who you're targeting, sometimes you'll put in an interest or a job title or whatnot, and it's like, 8 million people. That's too broad of an audience. So you need to figure out how to narrow it down, be more specific, so then you can use the narrow feature to do that, okay? So that's how you do your targeting. You either use one of your custom audiences that you've already created, or you target by location, demographics from age and gender, and then interests and job, profession, sort of thing. You can save this audience if you're going to come back and use it later. So I've got my 4,000 people there. I normally leave all of this. I let Facebook do its own thing in terms of automatic bidding on how much I'm paying per click or per video view, and then delivery type standard. I just leave all of that stuff the same. So that is the entirety of what happens at the ad set level. So at the campaign level, just the campaign name and the objective, conversions, page engagement, whatever. At the ad set level is where all of this happens. Now I can close that out and I can dig into that and go to the ad level. Now I'm at the ad level. And if I open this up, we're going to create a little ad. If you want, by the way, if you want your ad to appear in the news feed, it has to be attached to a page that you own. So I'm going to use my leads to sales business page on Facebook, and I'm going to create. By the way, up here it's saying here, I can create an ad from scratch, which is what I'm going to do, or I can use an existing post. So if there's already a post that I've posted on my leads to sales page, I could just use that post as the ad. So that's what they're talking about right here. Okay. So I have no eligible posts right there, so that's fine. Or you can enter a post ID. I won't confuse you with all that. We're just going to create an ad. Okay. So this is an ad with a video. You can have an ad with multiple videos in a carousel. There's sometimes other choices that don't show up right now because I chose the video views objective. So Facebook knows if that's my objective, then obviously I'm going to be using a video in my ad. So some of the other ad types are not showing up here. Like it could be just a static image. It could be an image carousel or a video carousel, which is where you've seen these before, where there's multiple images and you can kind of scroll through them. A lot of e-commerce shops use that to feature various products that are on sale or whatever. But I'm just going to do a video. So I'm going to select a video. And I've already uploaded this video. If you haven't, you can upload it right here. I've uploaded this video already, so I'm going to use it. And it's going to populate a preview on the right-hand side. So, oh, that's interesting. It's pulled in some text from one of my other websites. That's peculiar, but I'm going to replace all that anyway. So, so now I've got my video here. I'm going to get rid of this text. The text that goes in this box here is what happens, shows up above. And that's kind of like just your post, like a regular post that if you were sharing a video or something. Feel free to be long-winded in that section. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be like a sales pitch. This is where you want to just be like a regular human being. You're just a regular person sharing something on Facebook, right? So, I mean, I might put in something like, attention dentists. That's what we call a call out. I'm calling out my target audience. If you're not a dentist, that won't catch your attention. Attention dentists, I'm going to say, by the way, if you ever use the word Facebook in your ad copy, always capitalize it. That's actually in their terms of service. If you use the word Facebook, make sure there's a capital F on it. So have you ever tried to use Facebook ads to get new patients? I have perfected a system to dramatically Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that, but you get the idea. You can go on and on and on. Another thing, too, that has proven to increase conversions is use emoticons. In fact, what I'm going to do is open up another tab, and I'm going to go Facebook, just Google this, Facebook emoticons. That list, that top one right there, gives you the codes for all these different emojis. So let's see, maybe I'll do, let's see if anything comes up for dentist. No. No, oops, what about doctor? There we go. So I'm going to grab that one. It's automatically copied, and I just go back over to my ad, and I'm going to put that right here. So I've got the little dentist with his face mask on there, okay? And then maybe I'll grab, I'm going to clear that. Maybe I'll grab money. Let's go like this. We're going to grab that one. And I'm going to put that down at the end here. Okay, so now we got a cool little post, and again, emoticons, use them. It's been proven they work better because it adds to the casualness. It makes it seem less like an ad, even though it says sponsored right here underneath my my page name. I mean, people will know it's an ad, but it takes away some of that stigma, I guess, and it makes it seem a little more friendly and feel a bit more natural, like everything else you see on Facebook. Okay. Another thing that you can do when you upload your video, if you're using a video, is you can have Facebook automatically add subtitles to it, which sometimes it's incorrect. You'll have to correct them and edit them a little bit, but that's great because you know how videos auto play, but they don't play with sound. So you want to make sure that you can catch people's attention with whatever you're talking about. So put the subtitles in it. I highly recommend it. It doesn't take long and it's free. Okay, so now we've got a video, we've got some text up there, and on a video ad, that's all you can do. If I was doing an image ad, I could also have a headline, and I could also have a a link where when people click, that's what they're going to go to. But remember, when we created this campaign, we created the video views objective. So all we want is for Facebook to find people that are going to watch the video all the way through, okay? And then what's going to happen is I'm going to retarget those people with another ad that has a call to action in it, okay? And this is a great way. This is the boomerang approach to creating cold traffic and turning it into warm traffic, okay? So that's it. That's my ad done right there. I got a little bit of text, which I would go longer there. I would really establish the value, and then the video. And this video, by the way, just has me walking through the exact campaign that I want to set up for these dentists, and gives them an insight into how powerful it might be, and says, hey, why don't you let me set it up for you? You know, and I could even say, just say I want in the comments, and I'll reach out to you and we'll make it happen, or whatever. However you want to strategize your actual message, but that's an ad right there. So hopefully that gives you some insight. We've got the ad campaign, the ad set, and the ad level itself. Okay, and then once I'm happy with all of this, I just go ahead and click review changes up at the top. Webinar test, I've got an ad set and I've got an ad, and I'm just going to hit apply, and what it's going to do is upload all of that work that I just did to my ads manager. So now it's doing that up here right now. We'll give that a second. I'll use this opportunity. Okay, changes have been applied. So now I can leave the Power Editor and go back to the Ads Manager. It always takes a little while for your ad to get approved. Oftentimes it's fairly quick. And you'll see there's the ad I just created, the ad campaign I just created, webinar test. Obviously there's no data yet because it hasn't started delivering, but there will be once that starts delivering. This is just a test, so I'm going to turn it off when we're done speaking here. But you can see at my ad set level, and again, if I want to, I can select this ad, and I can do some basic editing and stuff right here in the Ads Manager if I want to, the budget and the schedule. But when you're creating your ads, it just doesn't give you as many choices inside the Ads Manager. So I always use the Power Editor to create my campaigns, and I use the Ads Manager to manage them, turn them off and on, increase my budgets, that kind of thing, okay? So I'll close out of that right now, and if we go in here, we'll see the actual ad itself right here. And if I select that, open up my window here. Again, there's no data yet because it hasn't started running, but I can see my ad preview here, and I can also find the links to it. So if I click Manage Facebook Comments, it actually opens up in another tab on Facebook. So you can actually see up here, this is the post ID. So if you wanted to use this exact same post in another ad, you could copy that post ID. In what I kind of briefly glanced over that in the ad set level, or the ad level, sorry. But this is also, you can share this. You can copy that whole address and share that with somebody if you want to share your ad. You'll notice that I have my subtitles there because the audio is muted. If I unmute, the subtitles go away. Exact advertising campaign that I'd like to run for you to bring in a bunch of cash and add patience. And so on and so forth. We don't have to watch the whole ad. If you're curious, I can send it to you later. So there you go. We've got an ad. And then what I would do from here is I would go back into my ads manager, and I know that's a lot of information, and I'm going to I'm getting close to the end of what I wanted to get across to you today, but I'm going to go back into my ads manager, actually into my ads account, and I'm going to go into audiences. Oops. And then once I'm in here, I can create a new audience. I'm going to go create audience. I'm going to create a custom audience. And it's going to be engagement on Facebook, because this is a video that I'm running on Facebook. And I'm going to say video post or ad. And I'm going to choose the content type. People who have viewed at least 75% of my video. And the name for this audience is going to be Dental Vid Viewers. Oops, hang on. I always get my E's and I's backwards. Dental Vid Viewers, and I'm going to put in brackets 75%, so I remember that it's at least 75%. Choose video. I'm going to choose, oh yeah, you have to choose the right page. That was my leads to sales page. And there's my video right there. I'm going to select that video, confirm. So now, and then it will just say create audience, and I think I've already created this audience, but let's see. Yeah, okay. So now I can click done. Now I have created a custom audience of, if I can get that out of the way, right here, of people, only people who have watched at least 75% of that video. And now I can retarget them with a second ad, just exactly the same process I went through with those ads. Create a new campaign. Maybe this one would be conversions, because I want them to do something now that they know who I am. And then maybe it's, opt into an email list so I can reach out. Maybe it's give me their name and phone number so I can call them as a lead, right? And it's only going to be shown to people who have seen that video, who are now warm traffic. They've watched 75%, which means obviously they were interested. And now I can say, hey, if you thought that was cool, I'd like to do that for you for free. Just give me your phone number, I'll give you a call, we'll set it up, kind of thing. And that's my foot in the door, and that's how I get new clients. That's how I get business, okay? So that's an example of how you can use this boomerang approach to create an ad, have a very specific objective with that ad, create a custom audience based on that ad or based on people that land on your website that's now warm traffic, and then have your conversion ad. That's your money ad kind of thing, right? Your lead generating ad that goes out to warmer traffic, okay? And also, by the way, if I run that ad long enough and my Dental Vid Viewers audience grows to maybe 1,000 people, then I can go in and say, let's create a new audience, a lookalike audience. I'm going to choose a custom audience. I'm going to say, Dental Vid Viewers, 75%. And I'm going to say, search countries, Canada. And, oh, I didn't get that. Canada, yes, Canada. Right, good. And then I can add. I could add countries as well, and then create an audience. So this is going to find me 223,000 people that match my dental video viewers, that are like them, that are most likely also going to be interested. And then I can rerun that ad campaign with a much more refined target audience, because Facebook has done all the work for me, okay? That's the idea. So that is extremely powerful stuff that you can do on Facebook. And again, just in this one little conversation, I mean, we've been talking for just a little over an hour. This is still just the tip of the iceberg. This is scratching the surface, because once you get past the tools and how to use the tools, then we start to dig into strategy. And of course, if you guys are interested, I'm always happy to jump on a consulting call with you if you want to get into a strategy session and really figure out some clever ways to get your message in front of the right people and clever ways to get those people to do what you hope that they will do. Let me know. Reach me on Facebook or whatnot, or go to leadstosales.ca and you can catch me there too. Okay. Do any of you guys have any questions before we wrap it up? Let's see. All right. Cool. Well, if you guys are good to go, then we'll wrap it up there. And I'm going to see if I can post this in the Facebook group there, and you guys can share it around a little bit. And again, the reason why I did this, as I mentioned earlier, is just because I want to get my name out there in the local business community as the Facebook dude. So feel free to share the post when I do get it out there, and feel free to send people over to leadstosales.ca if they need help with their digital marketing, specifically their Facebook advertising. That's what I do, okay? And in which case, I guess we'll wrap it up, and I'll see you all in Facebook land.